All right. I hope I'm audible by all. Let me adjust the mic a little bit right there. Okay, so this is the first stream of the year. So happy New Year to everybody. I'm a little dry. And happy New Year's. First thing I'd like to say is thank you. Thank you to a bunch of people who did reach out to me after my last review. I was obviously sick. I did advertise it too. And a bunch of you guys did come forward and contacted me on email, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that stuff. And I really appreciated that because, it was I was miserable. And I want to thank specifically the person who did. Yeah, you can see I'm sweaty here. It's very hot. The person who did propose a doctor in the city I am, and that was very nice. And thank you, and I hope you're doing okay. And say hi at some point in the future. So that's one. Secondly, I wanted to reminisce a little bit on 2017 and see that, today the channel, well, we've done a lot, obviously. We've been at... Hey, Mehedhan, how are you? Why live? Speak new. That's pretty random. But all I want to say that we did reach 1,300 subscribers about as today, and that is massive, and I'm a little bit humbled by it, and I really want to thank you for subscribing to this channel and watching me doing my blabbing once a week, and that's really, really cool. That's one thing. Secondly, I wanted to update on the giveaway. I've transferred credit to some of you guys on your Steam accounts. I still have 2 persons which are waiting for their credit. Actually 3. I'll make sure that you receive it tonight. Taslim, my friend, my dear friend. Hey, welcome. Indian writing. Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. That is, I don't know how to read this. And Mr. Kesmez. What would I be without you? So no, it's nice. I didn't know if anybody would show up tonight, but we already have 9 watching, which is quite a lot. And yeah, so channel is doing great for 2017. I'm super psyched and happy for 2018 because I got so much stuff to review. I mean, you don't see it here because I'm trying to hide it, but I am surrounded by things to review. I have a motherboard here, a Ryzen board, and that's really cool because I'm very excited every time we have a Strix Ryzen. When there's a Strix, it's Strix Day, and that's gonna come in a couple of weeks. And so there's a lot of stuff coming in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I apologize if I'm a bit late on publishing, but it is also a lot of work, and I am a little bit overwhelmed by the number of requests I am getting. Now, one other thing I'd like to talk about is my little crypto mining project. As some of you may know, I've been trying myself on crypto mining, and I know it's a hot topic out there right now, and a lot of people are trying to get it right. And, with the amount of hardware I have around me, I probably have, anything around 10 or 15 video cards and, as many processors and probably $60,000 or $70,000 worth of hardware. I said to myself, if anyone can put it off, has to be me, because if it's not me, nobody in the general population would ever. So what I did is I called a few of my friends in different places of the world, and I told the guys, you know what, I'm going to create an account, I'm going to send you a file, run it, and we'll all be crypto mining on Bitcoin on the same account and let it run for 6 hours and see what happens. All right. I didn't want to cost too much electricity to those people, obviously, and myself. But at some point, we were crypto mining about, we had 15 cards or so, like anywhere between 11 and 15 cards. I lost track. Anything ranging from a 980 Ti to at least 3 1080s, one 1080 Ti, etc., etc. So a lot of cards, a lot of computing power. And so we were very excited, and we thought, hey, at least we're going to, with all those video cards, we're going to make some money tonight. So we let it run, and that was cool. And after a while, after 6 hours, We shut it down. We shut down all our cards and logged in the account and took a look at it. And I realized very quickly that I was in trouble. With all this computing power, we managed to mine 0.0000005 Bitcoin. Actually, it was those 9 zeros before the 5, meaning that we did, in US dollars, that was 0.0075 cents. So hundreds of a cent, of a US cent. We did spend about $3 of electricity. And we did mine for 6 hours. So I took my calculator and I wrote an article on Patreon. And I realized that at that rhythm, it would have taken me $95 million worth of electricity and about 14,000 years to get one single Bitcoin. I'm all right with electrical bill. I'm not sure I'm okay with 14,000 or 14 million years of mining because, you know, I got galaxies to conquer and worlds to rule. So I said, okay, that's bull. Nobody can mine ever. I close it down. I apologize to all my friends and say, all right, that is not going to happen. Philippe Le Fur, plop, one bracket, and Julie, bonne année, bonne année, ma chérie. So first, Philippe, this guy is special to me because he made a $10 donation on Patreon, and he's the first guy I don't know who actually made a donation on Patreon to me, and I'm like super merci Patrick. C'est Patrick ça, Patrick Le Fur. I really appreciate it from the Philippe Le Fur. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You don't know what it means, you know. On the grand things of scheme, $10 is a small amount, but for me it represents $1 million because it's your gesture. You're the first guy I don't know. You're my first Patreon, so thank you. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because we're here to talk about topics, but Philippe, really, I dedicate this video to you, as well as another 1,282 subscribers. Anywho, so going back on my crypto mining adventure, I said to myself, no one can do this. This is a scam. We could have crypto mined maybe like 6-7 years ago. And then I looked at other currencies and you know what? I'm very excited. I'm going to make a video about it, so I don't want to give away too much. But there's definitely room to make healthy amounts of money on other cryptocurrencies. And as long as you're a little bit dedicated, organized, it doesn't have to cost you harm and a leg. But I'll talk about this in a couple of months, not before, once I'm done with the project and I can give something more substantial and something that can guide you more. Hey, Sausan, how are you? It's always nice to have you here. Greenbird, hey dude, your video helped me a lot. Hope you're getting 1 million subscribers. You know, if we do, it'll be awesome. But if we don't, it'll be sad. So yeah, 1 million subscribers. Call your friends. Who else? Julie, bisous, bisous, bisous. Tu me manques, ma chérie, of course. And say hi to grandma for me. Mamie, si tu es là, Mamie Lucette. That's my family. I want to say hi to them because that's nice to have them here. Phoenix, dude, RGB in the background. You know, I thought about it. I'm definitely going to do it. And it was like my big thing. I wanted to do like LED aura, you know, like the Asus aura compliant LEDs because I have like meters of strips and do something like this for New Year's Eve, but not enough time. Well, who else? Please, Vid Asus TUF Mark 1. Yes, I received one because I know you requested, and next week, or no, the week after, I will be reviewing the TUF Mark 1 just for you, my dear friend, which I don't know how to read your name, and it's Blaze, right? So that's about crypto mining. We're done with this, and I promise you there's really cool stuff coming up. Now, the second topic I wanted to talk about is the CES 2018 taking place right now in the States. And that's a rather big event every year because this is where all the tech world meets and show their very best. And you know, for the past 5 or 6 years, every year was really important. It has always been groundbreaking things coming out of the CES. But this time I was disappointed. And frankly talking, I was not expecting much of it. But I knew that, you know, all the iPhones and Galaxies were out for the year. I knew that on the computer manufacturing, the big event was a war between AMD and Intel, and NVIDIA and AMD as well. And so manufacturers are not going to risk it and try to build something, a new motherboard or anything like that. So that's, on its own merit is very disappointing. But there was one item really interested me, which is the Byron car, which is a Chinese startup. And that Chinese startup is focused on clever car, intelligent cars powered by electricity, a bit like Tesla. The only difference is that you have ex-employees of Apple and current employees of BMW, which are working on this. So, of course, I think it was Byron, never mind, Byron cars. And they produced a car, a concept which is hitting market in a year and a half, which absolutely blew my mind. You had this huge 50-inch widescreen, 50-inch widescreen inside the car. You got like a complete era of electronics which can communicate with your smartwatch, your phone, etc. It's just absolutely amazing. So I was blown away by this. I am definitely going to go ahead and sell my car next year and save a lot of money to get the first Byron, because they're not paying me, they didn't call me, but yeah, it was really, really fun, and I'm like catching myself dreaming about it. I'm even wanting to find where they have a test drive of those cars. So Byron, go for it, check it out. So that's one thing that was noticeable, but for the rest, CES was sterile. Asus showed off some cool screens, awesome. And for the rest, we left exactly where we started. The year is not starting on a great note, and I'm afraid 2018 for the first quarter will be a little boring. Okay, so that's for CES. I try to wrap up those live sessions as quickly as I can, because I know you have a life and I have builds to make. But talking of builds, I know my Threadripper build has been a little bit delisted in the past 3 weeks. I haven't published the fourth episode as promised, so I will focus on this. One thing I wanted to talk to you about is a project after that, the Coffee Lake project, and I wanted to know what was your feeling about it, what kind of video card you wanted me to play with, what kind of soft or solid tubing you wanted me to do the custom water cooling with. If you have anything you want to see, I know that somebody wants to see a TUF motherboard, I'll try to put it in there. But if you want to see something on that build in particularly, I will take it. I will make sure that it is there and that I'm showcasing it for you. Philippe Le Fur, the NVIDIA car, I meant. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I heard about NVIDIA doing some car equipment, like artificial intelligence equipment, but I'm not sure they did any cars. So, now last thing is, I went. That's on a personal note. I went and I saw Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and as you know, on every of my video, I showcase some kind of Star Wars shirt, mobilia, stencil, and accessories, and that's my big thing, and I adore it. And you know what? I definitely, there's a lot of people didn't like the movie, but I adored it. And if you didn't watch it, I would strongly suggest you do go watch it. Couple more things. First, there is a friend of mine here, which is not in the chat room, which just lost, his fiance lost his grandmother yesterday in front of me, so he's part of the tech community, so I wanted to say my sympathy to you. That's one thing. And the second thing is that I'm moving studios. So it's not something that's going to happen in the next few weeks, but in a couple months or 3 months, I will be moving studios. I'll have something a little bit bigger, hopefully, and with better soundproofing, better equipment, something a bit more professional, which I think you deserve. And I've been working on for a long time. So if you see in 2 or 3 months that I'm going slower on publishing the videos, forgive me, but it's for a good cause. And I'm very excited about it because I'm also getting some new cameras, which will be able to shoot not only in 4K, but also in 8K. And I think that for some of you, you know what that means. That is a lot of cool stuff. I liked a lot more action. Yeah, and talking about Star Wars, I think, and that it was not only a lot of action, but it was completely packed with a lot of storylines. Where that's what I really liked about the original Star Wars is the fact that it kind of um, followed different actors and developed different stories, and sometimes they would cross paths. But in any original movies, you could easily have two or three different stories going each their own way. One like the hat. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm with you. So, last thing I would like to talk about is about you guys. I want to find a new way for you to interact with me, and I thought that I'm going to be reaching out to a few, to some of you, which I already have contacts with. But for the ones who don't, please send me an email. I'd like to invite someone, some of the new guys or older guys, to come on the show, live or not, to build a computer with me. And that's as geeky as it gets. But I think that it would be absolutely great to get a little bit of fan action on this table and make sure that, we get some people to see, to showcase what they've learned or what they can teach me, because that goes both ways, and I'd love that. So please do write me an email. If you go on any of my videos, at the very end you'll have the social content on how to contact me, so please do that. Second thing is, I keep saying the last thing, but there is one last thing, the giveaway. So you know that there is a second giveaway for the first quarter of 2018, and that giveaway, after asking and asking again, will either be a 1080 or 1080 Ti. I want to thank one of you who know who you are, who actually donated one of their 1080s. So I could give it away, which is an amazing gesture. So I want to thank you from the bottom of all our hearts, and I'll make sure that it goes back to the community. So I will be starting probably on the 1st of March. Hello, Vincent Ernest. What's up, man? I'll make sure. Vincent Ernest, I think he got his Steam credits last week. I'm just saying. But I'll make sure that the 1080 goes through the very same procedure that the 980 Strix. It's a very expensive card. Cards are going super, super expensive. There is absolutely no excuses but crypto mining. Crypto miners are buying all our video card stocks, and it leaves us with absolutely nothing, and whatever is left is very, very expensive. So bad crypto miners. Now, one last thing. Early in this broadcast, I talked about crypto mining. There's one thing I didn't talk about, and that's the ethical side of it. My problem with crypto mining is that it changes our relationship with how we consume energy. Right now, we're in a climate change period. Our planet is reacting to how we interact with each other on it, and how we live and consume energy and reject the waste. And what's going on is that crypto mining is not bringing us any closer to a solution. Basically, what you do when you crypto mine is take electricity out of your wall, a lot of it, then send it in your video cards or your computer, and produce an obscene amount of processing, a lot of heat, and for some monetary reward, hopefully. And if that was, and it is working, and if that was to become something like everybody would do in their household, it would really change our footprint. It would be even, apparently there is the equivalent of 10 nuclear power plants in the world which are just borrowing crypto miners. So, it's not going the right way. So if you want to do crypto mine, know that there is a cost, not only hardware, but also on our climate. And that is why a friend of mine and I are thinking about getting some solar panels. If we want to really crypto mine, that's how we would do it. We would get a solar installation, a kilowatt per hour or something like this, and try to make it as green as possible, because I could not live with myself making a buck or two to the discharge of future generation. It is not only morally wrong, but I think it is criminal. It would be criminal for us to use this energy instead of lighting people need to study, hospitals, schools, mass transit, etc., etc. Instead of using that energy for this, we would use it for just making money in our bedroom. I think so. I have a little bit of a of a problem with it, and even though I've been crypto mining so that I could make a showcase of it on a video, I'm not sure it's the right way forward as a civilization. Hey, Chilar Basharan, my dear. Yes, I am. Am I on the smart TV? Can I like touch the sides of it? Like, how big am I on your TV? That's what I want to know, because I want to be there. I want to be all over your bedroom or your living room. I'm not sure. I want to know. But yeah, by the way, Bacharan, I'm still waiting for you to send me the plans of your game thing you want to build. I think you want to build an arcade with me, and I'm not so far from you. So again, we met once. If you want to do this, man, I'm game. I think that's the right word, because I grew up on arcades. I think that arcades are part of our DNA for the most people here. We're all millennials or so. And I think that, you know what? I would love to do this. J.Skill Trident Z. I think you're talking about RAM. Yeah, I think, yeah, for Asus, you're good, my dear. You can use a Trident Z, it'll work, no problem. You're watching me on the PS4. How insulting that is. I want, guys, pause for a second and think that I'm a computer builder. I actually believe that if you want a game, you got a game on something you built, on something you believe in, on something you sweat and bled on, and you're watching me on a PS4. I liked you, Jalal. Now, talking about blood, this morning, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if you can see that stuff. But right there, I cut myself to the bone. You see those like 4 little cuts right here? I cut myself to the bone by simply mishandling a stock fan from Intel. You know those little like Pentium and Celeron processors? They come with little, Intel-made fans, and everybody thinks it's crap, and it is. But oh my God, when they turn, they're super solid. And so I left my finger on it for half a second, and 4 blades went in my finger, in my thumb right there. The first one hit the bone. It hit me to the bone, almost, could cut a finger. And then you can see like different little cuts. It's crazy. So be careful, guys. So nuclear isn't that much a problem. The first problem is to remove gas and core coil electric factories. I'm not going to go political on this, Vincent. I know you're right. But right now, I'm going to have a beer after this, and that's a lot of gas. Yep. No, agreed. So, that's it, huh? We've been on for 23 minutes. I have nothing else to talk to you about, sadly, this week. But if you have any questions, I am here to answer. So I'll give a couple of minutes to you guys. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything in particular other than the TUF Asus motherboard you want to see on the first quarter 2018? Any complaints, things you don't like on my channel that you want me to better? I would not imagine there's such a thing. But if there is, please let me know. And in the meantime, I'll be playing some elevator music. Boom, 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 boom. Did you know I wear glasses? Jerome J, please read my comment finally. So, what clock speed of RAM would you recommend for a Z370E gaming? I think that on top of my head, the Z370E is a Strix series. There is A, E, and F. No, there's E, F. I forgot. There's at least E and F in the Strix series. And I think that the Z370 Strix series has a maximum capacity or overclockable capacity of 4133 megahertz with XMP 2.0. So that's right on top of my head. You have to double check those, but I think I'm quite certain about it. And what I would say is go for some Corsair Fury. RAM is super expensive these days, so try to stay, short. Get some 8 gigabyte and wait for the price to become, to drop a little bit. That's my advice to you. RGB LED is cool, but it's only going to make matter worse and make you pay more money than you should. So if you have a Strix, you already have plenty of RGB LED, plenty of light on this stuff. So really, 8 gigabyte Corsair, you're good to go, I think. And it is $200. You gotta see. What's going on with Taslim? What is he showing me? Porn music? Lol. What? Yes, exactly. Thank you. Thank you for using the P word on my chat room, Taslim. Thank you very much. I'm gonna be flagged. Did you saw the AMD APU? I did not. Please share with us. Hex, read mine. So like 2600, yeah, I wouldn't go. You know that the thing, just to finish with Jerome, music-wise, I wouldn't go, music-wise, RAM-wise, when you reach that 666 3 gigahertz, it doesn't make any difference. Your latency, the connection latency between your CPU and your RAM is so short. You can go at 4 gigahertz, you won't feel anything unless you're doing like heavy duty video editing and then you have 128 gigabyte of RAM, then yes, even 500 megahertz you can feel it on rendering 4K or 6K or 8K. But other than that, if it's just for gaming and what have you, I would go for the least amount of RAM, knowing that, even if it shows 2666, you always have a little bit of room on overclocking, so you can go to 3 gigahertz easy. You send me the plan of the arcade. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, Vincent, what are you talking about? No, I didn't see the new APU. If you want to talk about this, that'd be great. Hex, read mine. Let me go back up. Hex. Hex, you want to copy paste your comment because I'm lost. There you go. Do you think that the motherboards in Maximus 10 series should support Kaby Lake? No, they don't. That's a very good thing. I'm gonna answer this very quickly. Every Z370 based motherboard, including, I have like the Maximus 10 somewhere here and the Hero there. I have the documentation of the Maximus 9 and Maximus 10 is here. There, Maximus 10 formula documentation. As a rule, Z370 based motherboards do not are not backward compatible. They do not support any Skylake or Kaby Lake processor, and that makes me really mad because in essence these are the very same. The Z370 is the very same chipset that the Z270, and the Z270 chipset is compatible to the Z170. So why is suddenly the Z370 chipset based motherboard such as a Maximus 10 not backward compatible with 6 and 7 Skylake and Kaby Lake generation processors? It makes no sense to me. I think it is dumb to the very least and a marketing stunt to try to show that Intel had something cooked up in front of AMD's Ryzen and Zen architecture. So no, it doesn't, very sadly. Though I do think that there's gonna be, if you go to, and I hope I'm right, that Canyon Lake, the next generation of processor, Canyon Lake, sorry, I think it's Ice Lake. I forgot. Like the ninth generation of Intel processor, I hope that'd be backward compatible with Z370, so we don't have to change motherboard. But since we are going, hey, Olive Web TV, what's up? But since we're going to probably reduce our factory process and jump from 14 to 10 nanometer for transistor size, I highly doubt it. Don't forget that the TikTok Moore's law, the TikTok Intel's law is as dead as Moore's law. We don't have this, production of a new Intel architectures and optimization, and then, we go 1 degree lower in the factory process. Now we are going to be stuck by physical natural limits of quantum mechanics, and if we want to keep using classical computers on classical physics, we are going to have to learn to use a very same architecture for a longer amount of time, like the Skylake architecture. Skylake architecture is the same as Kaby Lake and Coffee Lake. We are on the very same architecture produced 3 years ago. We are on the same processor dies. That's why we are on the LG1151 socket. I'm sorry, I'm using jargon, and I mean like going super technical, but most of you should understand that. And I think that we are going to be very disappointed with the Z470 chipset motherboard. I don't know what Intel is thinking right now, but it's going to be a couple of years before they go in the right direction again, I think. Vincent Ernest, but basically AMD announced an APU R5 at $170 as powerful as an i5 paired. I heard that. Yes, of course I heard. And I think that's weirdly in collaboration with Intel. And Intel's going to release the very same thing with a Radeon integrated chipset. But let's see, it should be coming out in the next 2 months, and I am very excited about that as well, of course. Tyler Pugh, I keep calling you Tiger at every show. Tyler, it's so cool to see you. Thank you for coming here. Yeah, no, I'm happy to have you here. I love the fact that you keep showing up on every of my broadcasts, of my webcasts. So, man, yeah, no, super cool to have you. Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas and all that stuff. Now, it's getting more interesting than I thought, and I'll add this to the chipset discussion on motherboards. I'm starting to get a little bit bored about motherboards. And I think that some manufacturer has room to give us something better than the usual. You know, it's been 10 years. Some of those motherboards, Maximus 10, it's been 10 years. I mean, they're great boards. I love them. I love the enthusiastic. I love Asus engineering when they build stuff. But I don't know, am I the only one thinking that maybe we should try something else than the North and South Bridge? And maybe we should get a board which has a little bit more than what it gets. You know, when I remember in the 90s, we had a motherboard with integrated video card inside the logic board, right? Where did that go? I know some people will hate the idea. Apple is doing it, but I would like to see a budget motherboard with NVIDIA chipset with a 1050 built in right in there, boom, that you could possibly SLI if you had another external to it. That would be super awesome. That would make me dream. And I'd love to see that. I'd like to see some water cooling in 2018. That's what I want to see. I want to see, you know, I'm going to take this motherboard. At some point, the Maximus 7 had like a water cooling for the chipset, which is completely useless, but, you know, it looks awesome, you know. So I'd like to see some fancy stuff going around. I'd like to see the I/O gone as much as possible and see something a bit thinner. You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of room for manufacturer to wow us instead of just keeping the very safe garden of standards that they've been creating for 10 years, because it's getting really, really long on me. Jalal Basaran, did you decide what type of PC that we're going to build for our arcade PC? I know exactly what we're going to put, because arcade PC are not going to run latest games, right? We want to put some real classic games like Mario Bros, Pac-Man, you know, like there's a classic arcade. So we're probably going to go on something very, very small, like a Raspberry, or, you know, something will be right under. It's going to be big empty stuff with nothing in there, and just a little motherboard, a $50 motherboard under. And I'll tell you this is a monument to how far we've been between producing those huge things in the 80s for thousands of dollars to something that small which has a trillion more processing power. Vincent Ernest, do you think I should wait for i7-9700K? I buy my computer in July. If it comes out later, should I go? I have better for you, man. I recognize now that the 8700K is definitely a greater increment than the 7700K was to the 6700K, right? So from Skylake to Kaby Lake, we had a small increment of power, probably no more than 10-15%, was the same amount of cores, a little bit more L3 cache, but it was basically, Kaby Lake was really, really disappointing. The 8700K has more cores, it's a better thing. So what I would suggest is you do wait for the 9700K to come out, and then buy the 8700K if you want to stay in Intel. But if you don't care, I would just stay away from both of those processors and go to Ryzen. Go to Ryzen 2 because it'll be out. And it'll probably be cheaper and you'll get more mileage and more horsepower for less money. So really, you know, I've never been an AMD fanboy. But again, with their then architectures, there's really not much to risk. They've been proven to be much better. This thing is on a Ryzen 7 1800X. And boy, does it fly. I cannot stop it for the life of me. And when it goes, eh? So yeah, no, that's what I would go. Either you wait for the release of the new Intel processor and go for the previous one, or go on a Ryzen. Hope that helps. Tyler Pug, have you finished the hard tubing on the... Oh, I know you're waiting for the hard tubing. You're waiting for me to mess up the hard tubing. I know you, Tyler. I know you. Well, I got good news for you. The build is right here. I don't know if I can carry it on me. I'll try. This is right here. This is my Threadripper build. And no, I didn't start. That's a short answer to that, but I thought it would be cool to carry this heavy stuff on the camera. I did not start yet. That's because I've been, you know, doing other projects, which was in line, like a bunch of reviews. I shot the Formula 10 review today. I'm still in post-production. It's going to take me 3 days. If you knew how much I have on my table. But it's coming. My goal is next weekend, you get the fourth episode with a dongle connection on the motherboard, and the one after that will be the hard tubing, which already stresses me because I've never done one in my life. But hey, most of everything you see on this channel as videos on how to do stuff is the first time for me as well. You know, like the custom water cooling, never done one until I went on the Obsidian 900. So, and it still works. Okay. Jeff Brunel. Hey Jeff, what's up, man? Hey man, I finally finished my Threadripper build. I love it. No kidding. It's so fast. Thanks for your help on some of my issues. Jeff, thank you for passing by. Thank you for saying thank you. I love you. Dark Base Pro 900 is awesome, but it can be frustrating, especially since the manual sucks so hard. You know, I'm with you. I hear you because I'm a fan, definitely, of Be Quiet, but I'm not sure the finishing of the Dark Base Pro 900 is as good as I wanted it to be. And like some areas of the case are super well designed, super well finished, given. Some others is almost cheap, really cheap and annoyingly cheap because it doesn't mix with it. You know, some part of the factory, you feel like some part of the factory is made of engineers and the other part of the factory is made by students. I'm talking about 9 years old students. So yeah, I hear you on that. It can be annoying. Vincent Ernest, what I would love is a crosshair code. It's my dream. If Asus do make one, I would go directly to AMD R7 2700X. You see, the problem with having a code is code isn't, you know, it's really like the bottom enthusiast. I'm with you, and I think they used to have crosshair code. I wouldn't be surprised as they do start releasing on the next Ryzen generation, because now that AMD is so much more popular and broad public, I think that there is definitely a chance that we'll say this. I think that we will really, it's really likely that the Ryzen 2 and, you know, the X470 chipset will come with a code version on the Asus. Now, be careful what you wish for, because codes come with severe limitations. And so is the X370 or the X470. Hardware that I was thinking, so Jalal Bassaran, the hardware that I was thinking was able to run any type of emulators ranging from Arcade, Super NES. Okay, I'm with you. I think I saw an email from you somewhere. It would just pass by right now, so I'll take a closer look to that. No, may not be, but I'm sure a Celeron processor will work for our arcade project. Tyler Push, make sure you get the kit, well worth 35 bucks. I have to make a video on it, by the way. Tien, it's been a while, Tien. I'm on a break in school right now, but I'm still watching. Tien, for the rest of my life, actually I'm going to tattoo you. For 2 reasons, I love you, Tien. First, for the name, and because you're watching me on a break in school right now. That's so cool. That's why I used to do with a Game Boy back in '92. I used to have a break and play with my old Game Boy. That's another topic. but the fact that I think that what was the name? That's a Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z nonsense. That's an original Dragon Ball character that you have right there in the icon, and I love that. I forgot the name of that dude, but it was like super cool, super powerful when he wanted to be, and it just gets me right back to my 10th birthday or so. I love that. All right, looks like I answered most of the question in the chat. All right, I was thinking of, yeah, no. Yeah, so let me just say one more thing. Jalal, make it happen, okay? Tweet me, send me a direct message. We'll exchange phone numbers. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. I will have to ask to a few of my friends if they're okay, because I ask everybody on the WhatsApp group if it's okay to add a new member, but I'll add you to my personal WhatsApp at least. Let's work this out. Let's make it up, and it would be an awesome project. That's for sure. Vincent, the main problem with Asus code and formula is that those motherboards always come so late after the CPU release. I hear you. But you know, if they're good, like the Formula 10, you'll see my review in a couple of days anyway, but I don't think I'm breaking any secret saying that the Formula 10 is probably the best formula so far, and that was not easy knowing that Asus has nothing to work with. Nothing. The chipset is exactly the same as the one before. It's 7 months difference between Formula 9 and Formula 10. So yeah, they really worked a lot on the engineering. I gotta say, I gotta, cap it to Asus. All right, guys. That's a lot of talk, a lot of calories. I'm squinting because I have so much light around me because it's super dark. I want to say thank to all of you guys for showing up. I love this thing. I'm sorry I didn't show up last week, but it was Christmas. Again, love to all of you, and I'm gonna try to learn how to do stop streaming without looking too dumb. So I'm gonna look at the camera. I'm gonna say bye and click stop streaming, so it looks like there's production. So, guys, I'll see you next time.